Good day, everyone. So for you were done, diminish, decrease. For multiplication, so we have times, product, thrice, twice, double, triple. For division, so we have quotient, half, quarter. So when we say equality, so the keywords are, is, are, or yield. And for exponent, so we have raise, power, square, cube. So ito yung mga keywords na pwede natin mabasa doon sa ating word problem kapag nagsisolve tayo. To solve word problems, follow these simple steps. A. Analyze and read the problem. R. Represent the unknown in the problem. F. Formulate the equation based on the problem. S. Solve the resulting equation. C. Check the solution obtained in the equation. Let us have number sense problems. Number 1. The square of a positive number decreased by 4 times the same number gives 12. Find the number. So, ire-represent natin yung number as x. So, ang sabi dyan, the square of a positive number. So, ire-represent natin yung the square of a positive number as x squared. And then, the word decrease refers to subtraction. So, we are going to write minus. And then, 4 times the same number. So, 4 times the same number, pwede natin siyang isulat as 4x. And then, gives 12. So, yung gives dito, ibig sabihin, equal daw siya kay 12. Okay. So, ngayon, ang equation natin ay x squared minus 4x equals 12. For the solution, so, we have x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals 0 as its standard form. Next, by factoring, so we have x minus 6 times the quantity x plus 2. Okay? Next, equate each factor to 0. So we have x minus 6 equals 0, and then x plus 2 equals 0. And then solve for the value of x. So x is equal to 6, and then x is equal to negative 2. So the equation has two solutions, x equals 6 or x equals negative 2. However, we only consider the positive value of x. Bakit? Kasi ang sabi dito sa problem, the square of a positive number. So, meaning, ang hinahanap lang ay yung positive number. So, the final answer is positive 6. Next. Number 2, the product of two consecutive positive numbers is 42. Find the two numbers. So, for the representation, so dahil ang sabi dyan ay consecutive positive numbers, so pag sinabi natin consecutive, magkasunod. Sa halimbawa, 5 and 6, 9 and 10, 13 and 14. So, para makuha natin yung kasunod na number, nagdadagdag tayo ng isa doon sa naunang number. So, kaya i-represent natin si x as the first number. And then, for the second number, so we have x plus 1. Okay? So, ang sabi dyan, product. So, kapag sinabi nating product, so multiplication yung gagamitin natin. So, kaya, magiging x times x plus 1. Okay? Yung product daw nila is equal to 42. Okay, now, so, the equation would be x times the quantity x plus 1 equals 42. So, by distributive property, so we have x times x, so we have x squared. And then, x times 1, so we have x, so plus x equals 42. So, for its standard form, so we have x squared plus plus x minus 42 equals 0. And then, by factoring, so the factors are x minus 6 and x plus 7 equals 0. And then, equate each factor to 0. So, we have x minus 6 equals 0 and x plus 7 equals 0. And then solve for the value of x. So, we have x equals 6. And then the other one, so we have x is equal to negative 7. The equation has two solutions. So, we have x equals 6 and then x equals negative 7. So, however, we only consider the positive value of x. Bakit positive lang? Kasi ang hinihingi dito sa problem ay consecutive positive numbers. So, yung positive lang ang kailangan natin. So, which is 6. So, ngayon, dahil ang value ng x natin ay 6, so, babalik tayo dito sa representation. So, para makuha natin yung first number, so substitute natin kung ano yung nakuha nating value ng x. So, since ang x natin ay 6, so, the first number is 6. And then, the second number, so plus 1 lang, so 6 plus 1, so that is 7. So, the final answer, so we have, the numbers are 6 and 7. So, sila yung number na magkasunod na positive na kapag minultiply natin, ang sagot ay 42. So, again, si 6 and 7 consecutive. And then, kapag minultiply si 6 and 7, so that is equal to 42. Next, number 3. The sum of two numbers is 14. And their product is 42. So, what are the numbers? So, isulat natin yung given. So, base doon sa given, 14, siya daw yung sum of two numbers. And then si 40, siya yung product ng two numbers. So, ano kaya yung dalawang numbers na yon? So, kung maalala natin yung equation na x square minus the sum and then times x plus the product equals 0. So, ito yung pattern natin sa paggawa ng equation ng quadratic equation. Okay? Given yung sum and product. So, dahil given na yung sum and product dito sa ating word problem, so, isa-substitute na lang natin siya. So, kaya, magiging x square minus ang sum na given dyan ay 14, and then x plus ang product natin ay 40. So, therefore, ang equation natin ay x square minus 14x plus 40 equals 0. Okay, for the solution, so this is in standard form already. So, by factoring, so we have x minus 10 and x minus 4 as the factors and then equal kay 0. And then equate each factor to 0. So, we have x minus 10 equals 0 and then x minus 4 equals 0. And then solve for the value of x. So, x here is equal to 10. And then the other one, so x is equal to 4. So, the equation has two solutions. X equals 10 or x equals 4. So, therefore, the final answer, so we have 4 and 10. So, si 4 and 10 kapag inad natin, ang sum niya 14. So, tama. And then, si 4 and 10 kapag minultiply, ang product niya ay 40. So, tama lang dito sa given natin na 14 yung sum ng two numbers and then 40 yung product naman ng two numbers. So, let us have now geometric problems. Number 1, the length of a rectangle is twice its width. Its area is 32 centimeters squared. Find its dimensions. So, for the representation, so, ang sabi dyan, yung length daw ng rectangle ay twice ng width. So, halimbawa, ang width natin ay 3. So, si length ay 6. Kung si width ay 5, si length ay 10. So, nadodoble lang yung width para sa sukat ni length. So, kaya, i-represent natin si width as x and then si length as 2x. And then, another given is its area, so which is 32 centimeter squared. So, ang formula ng area natin ay, so, A is equal to length times width. So, ibig sabihin, ang equation natin ay 32 equals 2x times x. So, si 32, siya yung area. And then, si length, ni-represent natin siya as 2x. And then, si width, ni-represent natin siya as x. Okay. So, let us have the solution. So, distributive property. So, we have 2x times x. So, we have 2x squared equals 32. So, divide both sides of the equation by 2. So, magiging x squared equals 16. And then, get the square root of both sides. So, that is by extracting the square root. So, we have x equals positive and negative 4. Okay, so the equation has two solutions. So, x equals 4 or x equals negative 4. However, we only consider the positive value of x since the problem involves measure of length. So, kapag ang problem ay measure of length, so kailangan positive yung gagamitin nating value of x. Wala naman kasing sukat na naka-negative. Okay, so therefore, the value of x is 4. So, babalik tayo dito sa representation. So, dahil si x ay 4, so yung width natin ay 4. And then, 2x. Papalitan natin yung x ng 4. So, magiging 2 times 4. The answer is 8. So, for our final answer, so ang width natin ay 4 centimeters and then ang length natin ay 8 centimeters. Na kapag minultiply natin yung dalawa, so length times width, ang area niya is 32 centimeter squared. Okay, next, number 2. The length of a rectangle is 2 centimeters longer than its width. The area is 35 centimeter squared. So, find the length and the width of the rectangle. So, ang given naman dito, yung length daw na rectangle ay 2 centimeters longer than its width. So, longer, so, ibig sabihin, magdadagdag tayo ng 2 centimeters sa width para makuha natin si length. So, that is by addition. So, si width, i-represent natin siya as x. So, dahil ang sabi dyan, si length daw ay 2 centimeters longer than ni width, so, magiging x plus 2. So, that is our length. So, again, ang formula na area natin ay length times width. So, ang area dyan na given ay 35 equals, ang length natin, ni-represent natin siya as x plus 2. And then, si width, ni-represent natin siya as x. Okay, for the solution, so we have x times x, so we have x squared, plus x times 2, so we have 2x equals 35. And then, for its standard form, so we have x squared plus 2x minus 35 equals 0. And then, by factoring, so we have x minus 5 and then x plus 7 equals 0. And then, equate each factor to 0. So, we have x minus 5 equals 0 and then x plus 7 equals 0. So, solve for the value of x. So, we have x equals 5. And then x equals negative 7. So, again, the equation has two solutions. So, we have x equals 5 or x equals 7. So, however, we only consider the positive value of x since the problem involves measure of length. So, kaya ang kukunin lang natin na value ng x ay 5. Yung positive lang. So, kaya si width ay 5. And then si length, so magiging 5 plus 2, the answer is 7. So our final answer is width equals 5 centimeters and then the length is 7 centimeters. Okay, number 3. A rectangular table has an area of 27 feet squared and a perimeter of 24 feet. What are the dimensions of the table? So, ang given natin ay area equals 27 feet squared. And then, si perimeter ay 24 feet. Ang formula ng area natin ay length times width. So, that is our product. And then, ang formula ng perimeter ay 2 length plus 2 width. So, that is our sum. So, gagamitin natin dito yung pattern natin kapag ang given ay sum and product. Okay. So, ang product dyan ay 27 dahil ang area ay 27 feet squared. And then, si perimeter, okay, so i-divide natin both sides of the equation by 2. So, we have 12. Okay? So, para makuha lang natin si L plus W. So, kailangan mawala yung 2 na nasa labas. So, nag-factor out 2 lang tayo para makuha natin yung sum na L plus W. So, kaya 24 divided by 2, the answer is 12. Okay? So, kaya ang product natin ay 27 and ang sum natin ay 12. So, gagamitin natin yung pattern na x squared minus the sum times x plus the product equals 0. And then, substitute. So, magiging x squared minus the sum is 12x plus the product is 27 equals 0. Okay? So, for the solution, so we have by factoring, so we have x minus 9 and then x minus 3 equals 0. And then equate each factor to 0. So, we have x minus 9 equals 0 and then x minus 3 equals 0. So, solve for the value of x. So, we have x equals 9 and then the other one is x equals 3. So, the equation has two solutions. So, we have 9 or 3. So, therefore, the dimensions of the table are 3 feet by 9 feet. So, kapag sinubstitute natin dito sa formula ni area, so, length times width, so, magiging 3 times 9, the answer is 27. And then, kapag naman sinubstitute natin sa perimeter, so, 2 length plus 2 width, so, we have 24. Next, so, let us have the revenue problems. So, for the revenue formula, so, we have R equals PQ. So, wherein R is equal to the revenue, P is equal to price, Q is the number sold, and then X the number of incremental increase or decrease. So again, tandaan, ang revenue formula po natin ay R equals PQ. R, revenue, si P ay price, and then si Q ay yung number sold. Example number 1. A department store sells 20 music players per week at 80 pesos each. The manager believes that for each decrease of 5 pesos in the price, 6 more players will be sold. What price should the manager charge if the revenue needs to be 2,240? So, ang sabi dyan, so sa isang linggo daw, 20 na music players ang nabibenta nila sa halagang 80 pesos ang bawat isa. Ngayon, sabi daw ni manager na kapag binabawasan niya ng 5 pesos yung presyo nito, nakakabenta pa siya ng 6 more players. So, ano daw yung dapat na maging charge kung ang kita ay kailangang 2,240? So, ang revenue daw or yung kita, kailangan maging 2,240. Okay? So, for the price, so dahil 80 pesos each yung music players, so, nababawasan daw siya ng 5 pesos. So, sabi dyan, the manager believes that for each decrease of 5 pesos. So, pag decrease, so minus. So, 5x. X, dahil hindi pa natin alam kung ilan yung bilang ng nababawasan ng 5 pesos. Okay? So, again, for the price, so we have 80 minus 5x. And then, for the value of Q, so we have 20 plus 6x. So, 20 yung music players. Tapos, kapag binabawasan nila ng 5 pesos, nakakadagdag sila ng 6 more players. Kaya, plus yan. Okay? Plus 6x. So, kaya, ang formula natin, R equals PQ. So, magiging R equals the quantity of 80 minus 5x. So, siya yung P. And then, 20 plus 6x, siya yung Q. Okay? So, ngayon, okay, yung solution po natin, so, magiging 2,240. Bakit? So, ito yung revenue na sinabi doon sa problem natin. 2,240 equals, si P ay 80 minus 5x and then si Q ay 20 plus 6x. So, imumultiply lang natin yung dalawa na to. So, kaya magiging 80 times 20, so 1,600. Next, 80 times 6x, so magiging 480x. And then, negative 5x times 20, so negative 100x. And then, negative 5x times 6x, so that is negative 30x squared. So, 2,240, so simplify lang natin. So, ang sagot dito ay 380x minus 30x squared. So, isulat natin in standard form. So, magiging 30x squared, nilipat, minus 380x, and then 2,240. So, inilipat din si 1,600, kaya naging negative, equals 0. Then, simplify, 2,240 minus 1,600. So, magiging 30x squared minus 380x plus 640 equals 0. So, pwede natin i-simplify as 3x squared minus 38x plus 64 equals 0. So, divisible by 10. So, now, let us have factoring. So, we have 3x minus 32 and then x minus 2 equals 0. So, equate both factors to 0. So, magiging 3x minus 32 equals 0 and then x minus 2 equals 0. So, 3x equals 32. Divide both sides by 3. So, the answer is 32 over 3. And then, the other one, so we have x equals 2. So, the equation has two solutions. So, we have x equals 32 over 3 or x equals 2. So, again, P equals 80 minus 5x. So, iyan yung representation natin kanina sa price. So, papalitan lang natin yung x ng 32 over 3. So, P equals 80 minus 5 times 32 over 3. So, magiging 80 minus 160 over 3. So, 80 minus 160 over 3, so that is 240 minus 160 over 3. So, therefore, the price is 80 over 3. So, iyan yung price kapag si x ay 32 over 3. Next, paano naman kapag yung x ay 2? So, substitute natin si 2, so magiging 80 minus 5 times 2. So, that is 80 minus 10. So, the price is 70. So, therefore, the price charged must be 80 over 3 pesos or 70 pesos para ma-reach yung kita na 2,240. Okay, tingnan po natin. Substitute natin yung value ng x. Okay? So, kapag sinubstitute, so magiging 80 minus 160 over 3 times 20 plus 64. Okay. So, pinakita yung solution. Okay, so magiging 240 minus 160 over 3 times 84. So, 80 over 3 times 84. So, magiging 6,720 divided by 3. So, the answer is 2,240. So, tama. And then, if x is equal to 2, so, papalitan lang natin siya ng 2, yung dalawang x. So, magiging 80 minus 10 times 20 plus 12. Okay? So, magiging 70 times 32. So, R is equal to 2,240. So, tama din yung naging sagot natin. So, again, ang dapat na maging price charge natin ay 80 over 3 or 26.67 and 70 para ma-reach natin yung revenue na 2,240. Okay, next, number 2. A rental company manages an office complex with 16 offices. So each office can be rented if the monthly rent is 1,000 pesos. For each 200 increase in the rent, one tenant will be lost. So, meron tayong 16 na office. So, ang bawat isang office, pinaparentahan daw ng 1,000 pesos. So, kapag daw nagtaas ng 200 pesos sa rent, one tenant will be lost. So, umaalis yung isang nagre-rent. So, what should the monthly rent if the rental company needs 20,800 pesos each month in the revenue? So, ano daw yun dapat na maging monthly rent ng company na dapat ma-reach niya yung 20,800 pesos na kita? So, again, ang price natin ay 1,000. So, dahil pag nag-increase daw ng rent yun ng 200, so, isusulat natin siya as plus 200x. Bakit plus? Kasi pag nag-increase, so increase, that is addition. Okay, next, for Q, so we have 16 minus x. Bakit 16? Dito yon 16 offices. Bakit x lang? So, 1 lang yan. 1x. Bakit? Kasi, pag daw nag-increase ng 200 pesos, nababawasan ng isang tenant. So, minus 1x. So, that is minus x. Okay? So, balik tayo sa formula na revenue. So, R equals PQ. So, papalitan lang natin si P ng 1,000 plus 200x and then si Q ng 16 minus x and then multiply. So, the number, so x, the number of 200 pesos increase in the price. So, yung ginawa natin kanina. So, kaya magiging equation natin ay R equals 1,000 plus 200x times 16 minus x. So, palitan si R ng 20,800. Ito po yung revenue natin. Equals 1,000 plus 200x and then 16 minus x. And then simplify. So, 1,000 times 16. So we have 16,000. And then, minus 1,000x plus 3,200x minus 200x squared. So, simplify. So, we have 20,800 equals 16,000. So, plus 2,200x minus 200x squared. So, transpose si negative 200x squared. So, magiging 200x squared. So, transpose. So, magiging negative 2,200x. And then, 20,800 transpose 16,000. So, magiging negative 16,000 equals 0. And then, simplify. So, magiging 200x squared minus 2,200x plus 4,800 equals 0. So, kapag sinimplify, so, equals kay x squared minus 11x plus 24 equals 0. And then by factoring, so we have x minus 3 and then x minus 8 equals 0. So equate both factors to 0. So we have x minus 3 equals 0 and then x minus 8 equals 0. Solve for the value of x. So we have x equals 3 and then x equals 8. So again, the equation has two solutions. So we have x equals 3 or x equals 8. So, substitute natin for P. So, P is equal to 1,000 plus 200x. So, palitan si P ng 3. palitan si x ng 3. So, magiging 1,000 plus 200 times 3 is 600. So, P is equal to 1,600. And then, the other value of x, so we have 8. So, palitan si x ng 8. So, magiging 1,000 plus 1,600. So, P equals 2,600. So, therefore, the monthly rent can be 1,600 or 2,600. So, kapag chinek natin siya, so, pinalitan natin dito ng 3. So, magiging 1,000 plus 600 times 13. Okay? So, magiging 1,600 times 13. The answer is 20,800. So, tama yung R natin na 20,800. And then, kapag naman si X ay 8, so, magiging 1,000 plus 1,600 times 8. So, magiging 2,600 times 8. So, that is 20,800. So, let us proceed to work problems. A work problem is normally stated as two workers working together and working separately to complete a task. Usually, one worker performs faster than the other. So, the formula is quantity, so work done, so usually 1 equals rate times time. So, that is Q equals RT. So, the rate is R equals Q over T. So, because Q is usually 1, so we have R equals 1 over T. So, the equation to solve is usually, so we have 1 over the worker 1's time plus 1 over the worker's second time equals 1 over time together. Example, Jim and Ashley can clean the house in 6 hours if they work together. Jim can clean the house alone in 5 hours more than the time Ashley takes in cleaning the same house. How long does it take Jim to clean the house alone? How about Ashley? Okay, so let T represents the number of hours Ashley needs to clean the house. And then T plus 5 represents the number of hours Jim needs to clean the house. Okay, bakit T plus 5? Kasi ang sabi dyan, si Jim daw, kaya niyan linisin yung bahay ng 5 hours more than ng kaya ni Ashley. Okay, so we have the rate for Ashley. So we have 1 over T. So 1 yung numerator natin. Over T, kasi T yung nagre-represent sa oras ng paglilinis niya. And then si Jim, 1 over T plus 5. And then working together, so they can clean the house in 6 hours. So kaya 1 over 6. So i-add natin yung kay Ashley at kay Jim equals the time together. Multiply both sides of the equation by the LCD 6t times the quantity t plus 5. Okay, so magiging 6t times t plus 5 over t, and then plus 6t times the quantity t plus 5 over t plus 5 equals 6t times the quantity of t plus 5 over 6. Okay, cancel po lahat yan na nakikita nyo nakakancel. So, dahil meron kay numerator at kay denominator. So, ang matitira, 6 times t plus 5 plus 6t equals t times the quantity of t plus 5. Then, distribute. So, magiging 6t plus 30 plus 6t equals t squared plus 5t. So, in standard form, so we have t squared minus 7t minus 30 equals 0. By factoring, so we have t minus 10 and then t plus 3 equals 0. So, magiging t minus 10 equals 0 and then t plus 3 equals 0. So, the value of t is 10 and then the other one is negative 3. So, the equation has two solutions. So, we have t equals 10 or t equals negative 3. However, we only consider the positive value of t since the problem involves time. So, therefore, t equals 10. So, therefore, Ashley needs 10 hours to clean the house while Jim needs 10 plus 5 equals 15 hours to clean the house. So, si Ashley, 10 hours, si Jim, 15 hours alone. Number 2, Grace and Cheese work in tandem and finish the job in 4 days. It would take Cheese 6 days more than Grace to do the job alone. How long would each need to do the job working together? So again, T represents the number of hours Grace needs to finish the job. And then T plus 6 para naman kay Cheese. Kasi ang sabi dyan, Cheese would take 6 days more than Grace. So that is T plus 6. So ito yung rate natin. Para kay Grace, so we have 1 over T. Para kay Cheese, so we have 1 over T plus 6. And then, working together, so we have 1 over 4. Dahil 4 days. So, the equation to solve is 1 over T plus 1 over T plus 6 equals 1 over 4. Multiply both sides of the equation by the LCD 60 times T plus 5. So, magiging 40 times T plus 6 over T plus 40 times T plus 6 over T plus 6 equals 4T times T plus 6 over 4. So, makakancel sila. So, ang matitira na lang 4 times T plus 6 plus 4T equals T times T plus 6. So, distribute. So, magiging 4T plus 24 plus 4T equals T squared plus 6T. Then, in standard form, so we have T squared minus 2T minus 24 equals 0. So, by factoring, so we have T minus 6 and then T plus 4 equals 0. So, equate to 0 and then T equals 6 and then T equals negative 4. So, the equation has two solutions. T equals 6 or T equals negative 4. However, we only consider the positive value of T since the problem involves time. So, ang sagot lang natin for the value of T is 6. So, ibig sabihin, si Grace needs 6 days to finish the job, while Cheese needs 6 plus 6 equals 12 days to finish the job. So, again, si Grace, yung T, so 6 days. And then, si Cheese, T plus 6, so that is 6 plus 6 equals 12 to finish the job. So, reminder, now that you finished this video, you may now answer the what's more part of your module. So, that's all for today. I hope you learned something today. So, thank you for listening.